Ladies and gents, I am Killer Cross.
And I'm Scarlett Bordeaux.
And you are watching True Heel Heat. TikTok, motherfucker.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching True Heel Heat podcast.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Hey everybody, it's Tony Schiavone of All Elite Wrestling, and this is True Heel Heat, and I said it right, you motherfuckers.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3, and we are live on the True Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel, as well as our True Heel Heat Facebook for our Power Book 4 Force Season 3, Episode 5, The Last Dance Review, discussing the latest Power Book 4 Force Season 3 episode. And I would like to say the best episode, maybe of the I think definitely of the season so far. But I think of this series, this might be the best episode ever.
That's what I meant to say. The series.
We're gonna break it all down. To do that, I am joined by the one and only princess of all the True Heels, Miss Krssi Love. How are you doing, Miss Krssi? How was the vacation?
The first trip was good. Can't complain. Did a little work and got some fun in the end as well. So can't complain, but good overall. Had a little bump yesterday, but we were able to get back in time. So
you made it. You made it here. And
you guys did a great show on Saturday. I saw most of it, not all of it, but I saw some of it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
I didn't get to interact with you guys, but I was listening though.
We appreciate that. Yes, it was a lot of fun. Shout outs to Pluggo. Shout outs to the True Jaw Josh for Saturday's show. You can check that out on our other channel. But you're here on Sports and Entertainment because we talk about the world outside of wrestling, including Power Book 4 Force. So we appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping a thumbs up on the video. That helps out the YouTube algorithm. You can share this video with all your Power Book 4 Force friends, family, and fans on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to True Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment, you can hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, you can sound off in the comment section if you're watching us on demand. And if you're with us live, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys. Hear your thoughts on this week's episode. What did you think? Do you think it was the best episode of the season, the best episode of the series? Let us know in the live chat. Let us know in the comments. And of course, we love to interact with you there. We got Ace with us already in the chat who says, "What's up, SP3 and Krssi? Good to see you." Good to see all of y'all. And remember, drop the thumbs up. That helps us out so much. But Krssi, before we get into what went down on this week's episode, what was your overall thoughts on Season 3, Episode 5, The Last Dance?
The Last Dance was absolutely a banger. absolute banger. As Seamus would say, it's a banger. It's gonna be a banger. It was a banger. I did. You. I think you called it last week. Then you said like usually like episode 5 is usually the one that like sets the tone for what's going to happen in the end of the whole thing, and usually is like one of the best episodes of like the seasons, and it did exactly what needed to be done. They did a lot in this episode, and whew, just left you just like, what they gonna do for episode 6?
Like it was kind of hard to figure out like what to put in the headline because so much
Right.
happened. Like I'm gonna have to change the headline again because I didn't even put R.I.P. Claudia. Because that's like the biggest thing that happened on the episode. But there was so much. There was so much that well, I did put Tommy ends Claudia, but we need a R.I.P. because I agree with what Tommy said at the end. Out of all the Flynns, Claudia was actually the best because she was the most effective villain. I hated her, especially after she killed Liliana. I hated her. I hated what she did to kill her father, to almost kill her brother.
Yeah.
I hated a lot of the decisions that she made, mainly because when we first were introduced to her, I really thought that Tommy was gonna hit that. I thought he was gonna clap.
Me too. I thought he was gonna. I definitely thought he was gonna get with that Flynn, but he didn't.
He does kiss her when she puts him on to Dahlia, but like that was like something that was kind of like it was like unsaid. But it was there. There was that vibe, that chemistry there, where you was like they was like teaming up together to bury bodies after she killed people and stuff. Like it was like, oh man, I want them to be like partners. Tommy found us. He found 2 chicks to be a part of his game. This is like him with Ghost and Kanan, but the female versions. I was like,
what if they did write it like that? That would have been actually really dope. You know what I'm saying? That would have been actually a dope type of thing. Like, showing like a guy in charge, but he still has like his he has these 2 females that are helping him dominate and run this drug empire, whatever. So that that would have been a dope thing to write as, if not like again, then he would be going against Jenard and what's the name? That would have been dope, but whatever.
I wish that they would have let it like last longer, that whole partnership. I always the belief that Liliana should have been more than 1 season.
Yeah, I think she should have at least like been on to at least season 2. I think they got rid of her too fast.
Yeah,
I think they got rid of her by did she get to
the last episode of season 1?
Yeah, this last episode. Yeah, so she did go through the whole season. Yeah, I think she could have at least got to like episode 5 of like season 2.
Yeah, I think so.
More. Yeah,
I agree. Ace says this episode might get a 9 out of 10. You're definitely gonna hear what you guys rate this episode. And our boy Power Driver Finisher says Tommy's Angels.
Yeah, I love that.
That's pretty good. All right, let's get into the episode, The Last Dance. This episode kicks off as we see CBI are hanging out. They're playing cards. They're basically having a nice day out in Chicago. They have one of their friends of the crew who's Wheelie. He's in a wheelchair. He's doing all his dancing in the wheelchair. And everybody's like laughing and joking. It seems like a good old time. And then for the first time since I think season 1, we see the Yardies are here. And it's literally the same Yardie that was that was with the other guy that Tommy killed, that he shot him and let him live so he could send a message to Yamos. So he's here. He pulls up with his girlfriend. His girlfriend's driving, and she's like, "Oh, isn't them CBI dudes who hang out with Tommy Egan, the guy who shot you?" So he has his guns and he wants to get revenge. So the girl distracts them, and then he pulls out his guns. He starts lighting them up with his boy. None of the actual CBI members are hit, but Willie is shot down and he is dead. So this is our inciting incident in this episode, because this is going to cause different. This is probably like the B plot of the episode, even though we're starting off with it. But this starts off a chain of events that will see Diamond and Jenard taking more control of CBI. But
I mean, it is their organization. I'm just saying,
I mean, it is Chicago Brothers Incorporated.
you just happen to infiltrate yourself into our,
It's not.
organization.
It's not in Chicago Brothers Incorporated with the white dude from New York.
Yeah, right.
The
Exactly.
next the next scene we see is Elise and Claudia. They're
Ugh.
in like a hotel room, and Elise is trying to convince Claudia that this is a bad idea. That her being out of prison, they need to run, they need to go. But
Mhm.
basically, Claudia's like, well, she can't go because of the feds around her, and she has to give them Tommy. She was like, he's trying to kill you, and she was like, well, good. If he tries to kill me, he's gonna get arrested for attempted
Mhm.
murder. She was like, well, what if he gets to you first? And she's like, well, he won't. Like, trust me, I got this. You understand? And like, she's like, she just storms out. Elise, she doesn't want to hear from it. She's sick of being manipulated by Claudia. And then Claudia, we get for I think this is like maybe like the first time a character outside of Tommy, no, outside of Tommy and Diamond, because we've seen
Mhm.
Tommy and Diamond inside their head. But this is the first time we've seen inside of Claudia's head as she looks in the mirror and she sees death is behind her. Death is
Mhm.
coming for her because she sees Tommy in the mirror in her hotel room and he's not even standing there.
She shook. She didn't know what to damn do, but
She is shook
she
as
knew that
shook.
that that he
She
was
is
coming.
shook.
As soon as she stepped out of jail, she already you should already know that he was coming for you, and that's why you should.
Exactly.
I mean, in this scene, I was like, oh yeah, she's going this episode. It's a done deal.
Yeah.
Once the girl is like telling you that we need to leave now, and you're not listening, you should have went with that. You should have went with her.
They also did an excellent job of building suspense for this final showdown.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
we're talking about this episode like scene by scene, but like as we got to the final showdown between Claudia and Tommy, it was like they gave you scenes that you would literally only put if that person was going to die. Like they did a
Right.
scene for Tommy
Right.
of another person
Mhm.
having something to tell him that if he died it would become a whole different story. And then for Claudia, she gets a message from somebody that you were like, oh yeah, she's definitely gonna die. So they did a
Mhm.
good job of
Mhm.
making you not know who was gonna win out in this final showdown, even though we
Right.
all know Tommy was gonna win. I think
It's definitely set in stone. We already knew who was going.
it is his show after all.
Correct. You
So
gotta get to the end.
at the very least, he has to get to the end. So Tommy, we see him showing back up at his apartment. Maria is sleeping there. She basically asks, "Oh, you've been out all night," and he's like, he had to take care of something. She goes and like hugs him from behind, and he like is feeling the comfort, but he's like, I have to head back out, and she's like worried about him, and he finally tells her about Liliana. He says that she was a very close friend to him, and he was like, not like that. But she was a part of the game, and she got killed in the game right before he met her. So he has to take care of something. He has to get his revenge for her, and she understands. She gets ready for work, and then we get Tommy. He calls Claudia. He calls her directly. He gets on the phone, and he's like, he has a plan to squash everything between him. So he sets up a meeting. He wants to meet her in an abandoned lot, and he tells her, "Come alone." I love the way he says it. Whenever he is like talking to someone who's an op, he always has a certain voice and tone to it.
Mhm. He always it means that he's serious, but he knows that those other person is lying on the other end of the line anyway. But he just wants you to let you know that he's serious.
Pretty much. Pretty
So
much. So then we see Tommy. He goes to finally see JP. He asks him, is Kate back, or has he heard from Kate? And he says no, she's still in New York. They have a whole argument because Tommy is here to let JP know that D-Mac is back in the game and he's back a part of CBI. JP doesn't want to hear any of this. Basically, Tommy tries to explain to him, like, this is D-Mac's decision. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. This is, if he's gonna gangbang, I'd rather him, be
be
with me,
close.
be with me
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
I'll keep him close. I'll take care of him. He was like, just like you took care of him when he killed the cop. He was like, I trusted you to at least keep him on the sidelines, and I can't even count on you for that. So he barges out. They get into another argument there. Then we get Diamond and the rest of CBI are basically reacting to Willie being killed. They basically want revenge on the Yardies, and they're trying to figure out why the Yardies did it. First, you got Marshall and Smurf. They are like basically CBI is the top dog in town. So if you want to be a part of the whole game, if you want to get in, then they're gonna try to knock off the top dog. But Jenard is the one who, for once, his hating of Tommy is actually the truth. Because I think that if it wasn't even a part of Tommy was the reason for the hit, I think that he would still blame him. But he is actually being true in what he's saying, because he's like, this is just revenge for Tommy killing their boy when he first got here. He was like, that's what it's all about, nigga. He was like, that's why the Yardies did what they did. So basically, Diamond is trying to figure out what they can do, and Jenard is trying to basically put pressure on him and telling him they need to hit back, and they need to hit back at them hard. But Diamond is saying he's thinking, and he actually is thinking about putting the Yardies as part of the coalition. And I was like, this is why you have Tommy. Because Tommy wouldn't have even thought about that. He would be honestly, if Jenard told Tommy that idea of hit back at the Mart, I think Tommy would be actually down with that more than saying, I think we should put the Yardies a part of the coalition. And like Jenard tells him, he was like, they are not about being together. They're about shoot them up, beat them up, killing everybody. He was like, that's why they would be the perfect get for the coalition. He was like, what you gonna do? But what is like Smurf and everybody else and Bones gonna think about that? And he was like, I don't have to answer to nobody. He was like, I'm the leader of CBI. He was like, this is my decision. And he was like, well, I don't think they should be part of this, for free. They shoot one of our people and we're rewarding them. He was like, I didn't say it was for free. So he tells him to make the call, set the meeting. So we'll see what happens there. But I was definitely worried about this first idea.
Me too. I was like, see, this is why you need your other partner. But in the end, we'll get to the part, but whatever.
Then you got Claudia. She is in the abandoned lot, and of course she has a earpiece. She's wearing a wire or whatever, and she's talking to Stacy Marks, who's in a truck after she texted her saying that Tommy reached out after he called. So they're in the truck, and Tommy is so good. Seeing Tommy on the roof with the binoculars, and he's like, anybody of these people could be it. And then he sees the truck. He was like, no, but it's definitely there. Then he calls her, and he was like, and I told you to come alone. And she was like, well, you said noon. And he's like, I told you to come alone. So he was like, we're not meeting. He was like, I'm trying to work with you. He was like, he's talking about Ortega and the Marquez cartel are going to be after both of them since she's working with the feds. And she's trying to get Tommy to basically admit anything that they're selling drugs on a Viagra Triangle. He was like, I don't think you should be saying that you sell illegal narcotics on an open line. You never know.
Listening. Yeah.
I was like, Tommy is just too smart for the both of them. Both Stacy and Claudia's brains together do not match.
Nope. He's always 10 steps ahead of them, and it shows that in this episode as well. So,
and I love the fact that he's cocky about it. That makes it even better.
Yeah. Yep.
So Claudia over here, she goes and sees Vic. She basically drops her bag like she's about to stay with Vic. Like they don't have any issues or anything. She's pouring herself a drink. She's acting like it's her apartment, but Vic is like, this was in Dad's name. This is mine now. And basically they get into a whole big argument where Claudia calls him out for basically Tommy walking all over him, saying that the Albanians took over some of the Irish restaurants up north. And how does that make the Flynn family name look? So Vic claps back at her and saying that she's part of, like, if she's going to take him out like she tried to take out their father. And she gives like this tearful, basically emotional speech saying that they need to take back the Flynn name together, that everything has been horrible ever since Tommy got here, and they need to exact their revenge and basically take back over of Chicago. So Vic sees all of this, but You never know with Claudia, even though she's
Yeah.
crying, she fakes
She's a whole liar. Yeah.
time. So you don't know if it's honest or not. So Vic turns her down. He doesn't want to hear anything of it, and he tells her to get the fuck out. As she's leaving, Ray comes and sees Vic, so they run into each other, and Claudia tells Ray that she could do so much better than him. And Vic tells her exactly. Vic tells her that was his sister. And of course, Ray is like, I think I recognize her because Claudia Flynn did get famously arrested. So not the best idea.
Yep.
So this leads to a whole discussion between basically Vic and Ray, where she basically is like asking him like who is that? Like, that's your sister? He's like, your sister looks very familiar. And he's like, well, I want to tell you the truth. My name is not Jason Booker. My name is she was like, that was Claudia Flynn. She was like, yeah, I'm Vic Flynn. She was like, yeah, you're Vic Flynn. She was like, what the hell? I don't want to be a part of this. Like, she was like, I know about your family. Like, your family got a reputation. Like, I don't want to be in any of this shit. I'm out of here. And Vic explains like, yeah, it started off as basically a game that he was trying to get closer to Stacy Marks, but things got for real between them. He was like, if you don't feel the same way, if you don't feel what I feel and those real feelings, then you can go and I won't do anything to you. And she decides to stay. She just says, I need a drink.
She said, no, she want to be there with you. That's all it is. That's all it is, man. She wants some of that.
Vic must be hitting it good.
I would say she wants some more of that Flynn stuff, that Flint.
I mean, he was able to keep a black chick for a long time, so we gotta give him enough credit.
You know what?
Vic might have the riz. Vic might be clapping them cheeks real good.
You need that Vic Flynn, Yeah.
That Vic Flynn dick. that Vic dick. That Vic dick. She want that Vic dick.
Yeah.
That Vic dick. So after
she was stuck, I kind of already knew she was gonna stay though, but
Yeah. She don't got that much going on. She's an assistant. So after Claudia had texted Stacy met with the police chief because she wanted some police support at her latest press conference. So the police chief was like talking about how they had the whole dispute and how she almost took down the whole CPD, and that he basically tried to extort her. He wanted a fucking boat for him and his wife in exchange for the police support. Stacy not able to do that. Basically, it was like, I will make sure that the mayor's office never gives the police department any issues, and that's how I'll repay you. And he was like, okay, what do you need? She was like, I just want some police at the press conference. He was like, consider it done. And yeah,
too easy. Just too easy. I came here asked for a boat, and then I just get, and I was like, I had to pause it. I was like, this seemed real sketchy because you came here asking me for money in a boat, and then now all of a sudden you're okay with just walking away and just having the police department.
I would have known something's up. Like you took that too quickly. That is too not quickly. Good enough
like
for
okay,
what you
sure, want. Right. That man came in there trying to extort you, and you was like, yeah, sure. Like we'll make sure everything goes away. And he's like, okay. Like you should have had some in your back pocket just in case. That just shows you that you ain't that smart, Stacy.
Stacy is gullible as hell. This is sad. I actually liked her as D on The Shy. She's an idiot as Stacy Marks here.
Yes. I agree.
So we get Stacy. She gets her press conference. At the end of the press conference, she talks about how she has the police support, and the whole row of policemen turn their back on Stacy as a show of disrespect to the incumbent mayor. She has a meeting with the police chief where he basically explains, like, I told you the price, and now the price is doubled, 50%. You have to give me the boat and $500,000. God damn.
See, you should have just gave him the boat from the get-go, man. Like,
she getting $1 million check from Tommy. Like, You act like you didn't know it was from Tommy, but for whoever Patch Adams or whatever the name he gave.
It said on the check.
Jesus, like what are we doing? So then yeah, he basically extorts her for that. She has to take pictures, and then we go to the meeting. The meeting is set between the Yardies and CBI. Diamond proposes that they be a part of the coalition and that they got the best prices and the best drugs. They have a bag of the product to basically show them. And one of the Yardie that shot up Willie is being disrespectful. He's like, "Give me that shit, bitch."
He was talking real sideways, son.
Smurf and Bones and Marshall are just making faces like, "What the fuck? These disrespectful niggas." So basically, Diamond says, we can't do business when we're still old in arms. So he's like, the Zamos basically tells Diamond, "Oh, you put down your guns first." So they put their guns down. The CBI, then the Yardies put down their guns, and Ben, he basically tells him the catch to the whole deal is that they have to give him the guy that shot Willie. And he was like, "You told me there wasn't any." He was like, "There wasn't. It was for free. It wasn't any payment." He was like, "We lied." It said Jenard. Jenard was like, "We lied." He was like, "Yo, fuck you then." He was like, "We ain't giving you shit." He was like, "That's a bad decision." And they just do the whistle. And then the motorcycle dudes pull up, light them up with machine guns, shoot up the whole Yardie band and family. Like, goddamn. And the mama too.
And I mean, they had it coming. Like they was talking real, they was talking real reckless out their mouths, talking sideways, and they didn't think like, yeah, your guy got killed, but you also have to remember like that's that lifestyle. You're gonna regardless or not. So this was very well played on Diamond and Jenard. More so, this was Diamond's plan. So yes.
Yeah. So when they're leaving out, basically they say they want to make it look like the cartel did it. So they're going to hang up the bodies. Then Diamond makes the plan that they're going to take over all of the Yardies' territory now. And they want to put the word out that CBI is taking over the Yardies' territory. And he wants to let Shay know. So he decides he's going to take a meeting with Shay on his own. This is when Jenard basically is like, "Well, let me be a part of it. Let me be a part of it. I did all this shit, King Logan." And Diamond's like, "Man, you don't even have to explain all of that. You're in."
Right.
So Jenard gets excited. He's about to text Bay. He's like, "Bay, we got to meet with Shay." And then he looks up and he's like, "You know what? On second thought, I'm not going to do that." He erases the message and doesn't send it to her. And I was like, "Oh man, you're gonna get fucked up by your girl."
She gonna fuck. Yeah, she really gonna fuck you up too, because she definitely wear the pants in the relationship, so she definitely gonna fuck you up, son.
Ain't she beat his ass when he was on drugs too?
Yeah, yes, she sure did.
So Tommy and Vic have a meeting. They want to talk about Stacy Marks. This is when Vic puts it to his attention what happened at the press conference and that she's going to be in need of a new cash infusion. So Tommy was like, "Yeah, that's great, but we need extra leverage because we know that when he knows when he goes to her, she's going to push back against him and not want to be a part of his plan and extortion plan that he has for her." So she basically she's like, how did she basically flip you? And she was like, "Well, they basically told me that I would go to jail for killing that Colin dude." He was like, you remember when you first got here, the Colin dude, the deal that went wrong?" Tommy's like, "Oh, you mean the two young dudes that killed?" And he's like, "No, the other one." He's like, "Damn, Tommy."
Too many bodies. Can't keep track. It's not his fault.
It's true. So she basically says that they had an eyewitness for the whole thing, and he was like, "Who was there?" It was like there was the bodyguard and it was the girl, and he was like, "Yeah, the girl has hit me up before saying that she was going out with someone from an art institute." He's like, "Art institute? So I don't know how Tommy does this, but a few scenes later, we see Tommy show up at the Art Institute, and basically he comes up to her. First, she doesn't recognize him, and he says, "We've met before." He was like, "Yeah, you." He was like, she was like, "Do I met you at an art deal?" He was like, "Was it an opening?" He was like, "No, more like a closing." And he makes the voice again, and that's when she finally realizes who he is. And he's like, "Oh, calm down." She's like, "Are you gonna shoot me in front of all these people?" And he's like, "No." He was like, "No, I'm gonna offer you you a deal. He was like, I'm gonna offer you some money. He was $25,000. He was like, do you remember like how they came up to you and who you met? Was it a lady? And she was like, yeah, it was a lady, to basically you told me that, I would go to jail if I didn't tell her who killed them and stuff. So he's like, okay, that's all I needed to know. He was like, we'll make this deal happen. So
Like, thank you.
I was like, Tommy out here really became Ghost this season.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that Ghost did with Holly. He offered her the money to leave.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the only thing that Holly did not leave though. Holly was a thorn on everyone's side.
She came back like an idiot. So then we get to Vic, who meets up with Stacy in a park after dark. They have a meeting, and Tommy just pops on out, and he's like, oh, maybe we introduce each other. He's like, oh, you're setting me up. He's like, no, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Patch. My name is Patch. I'm your biggest supporter of your campaign, or your biggest donor. He was like, you're not supposed to react like that. I thought it was you met one of your donors. You're like, what can I do for you as mayor? And she was like, do you think any of this money is gonna make me do what you want to do? And he was like, no, maybe, but maybe this will. And he shows it a video of the girl who says that basically Stacy Marks offered her money and basically bribed her to say that this person that Vic killed Colin, and that's basically would ruin the whole mayor campaign completely. Besides the money that Tommy has given her. So Tommy gives her $500,000, gives her another $500,000 because he's like, that's a much better proposition for yourself. And he's like, all you have to do is take the protection off of Claudia Flynn. And she was like, that would look too suspicious. So he says, take the protection off of her or her girlfriend then. And she's like, do it. And you could tell Stacy was absolutely pissed.
She was shooketh. She was like, damn it, how did he do this? Like, how did they outsmart me, both him and Vic? She was like, I could be outsmarted by one, but not both of them. So yeah, that's why she was pissed. She wanted to cry and everything. Well, she actually had a little tick in my eye.
She did have a tear in her eye. Fireberry Finisher says the Yardies didn't have bullets in their guns, I guess. Well, to be fair, they made them put the guns down. So
right, everyone had.
Maybe they couldn't even react in time. They didn't. Yeah, they probably didn't have enough time with how they just whistled and niggas was ready to come in.
Yeah,
the motorcycle pull up, and I'm like, y'all ain't ready for that theatrical shit. Nah, they wasn't ready for CBI. CBI learned way too much from Tommy. They went true theatrical with that one.
Gotta love it though. You gotta change up the game. You gotta change up how you start moving in these streets, and everyone can underestimate you guys.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. So yeah, you can see the look of pain and anguish on Stacy's face after Tommy walks away, and you knew that we would probably see a response from Stacy in this episode, or at least the next episode. I didn't think it would come that soon, like a couple of scenes later, we would know what her response to all of this was, but we'll eventually get into that there. Next, you had Che. They had the meeting with Che with Jenard and Diamond. At first, Che is not feeling that the fact that Diamond did not tell him that he was coming with someone new, saying, where's your partner? Jenard says, well, Tommy had to do something. He was like, I'm just in his place. And Diamond explains that Jenard is his blood, that's his brother, and that he ran CBI while he was gone. He's like, he's an extension of him. And he basically tells him, he's like, we're just here to tell you. He was like, I heard you guys made a move on the Yardies. He was like, we took them out completely and we're taking over their territory and we need more product. And this is after they gave them 3 times the product. They already need more product.
Last week.
So
now they need more product. Right.
So Jay was like, you should have led with that.
No problem. I'll have it ready for you.
Like, why are you wasting time? You should have led with that. So he is happy to hear that. Then we go to Tommy. He meets up with JP again. They have another meeting at the house because apparently Kate has sent them a gift, and it's a 6-pack where she leaves them a note and she basically tells them that you guys are brothers. Nothing can change that. So despite all your issues, get along. Don't fuck it up. So
Mom of the year. Mom of the year.
Kate, it's better late than never. Better late than never. We're gonna learn how horrible a mom you are in Origins, but it's good to see you eventually become a decent
Ish.
mother-ish. Yeah, can't say mother completely. Mother-ish.
Momish. Like
Momish?
figure-ish.
Mom figure-ish. So yeah, that brings JP and Tommy together. They even have a bonding moment where they're talking about Kate's sobriety, and Tommy goes through a whole story about how Kate got sober for like the longest she's got sober was 2 weeks when he was a kid, and it was right after Ghost moved in, and he came home from school and he had the door open, and his mom was like, "Tommy, close the door." And he's like, "Why?" He's like, "I have these pigeons." She's like, "Yeah." She had a group of pigeons in the living room, and she was gonna make it a pet. She was like, and JP's like, "What happened to the pigeons?" She's like, "They died. She forgot to feed them." Great story. Great,
I'm about to
great.
say that has by far one of the best Kate stories I've ever heard. And he's like, "Well, what happened to the pigeons?" Man, they died. They ain't even here no more. Like, we ain't got no pigeons. Like, why would you even think of having pigeons as pets anyway? Like, that didn't think you didn't think about that part. You thought about like, oh, what happened to the pigeons? Like, no,
It's pigeons.
It's right.
Pigeons.
They're supposed to be on a roof or flying somewhere, not in someone's house.
Doesn't work that way.
No.
A saying Stacy crying when she realized that her plans backfired on her. And man, I can't imagine what her reaction is going to be next week when she finds out that her latest plan blew up in her face spectacularly. Because Stacy then meets with Claudia Flynn. They basically are trying to come up with a new idea, a new mission for Tommy. She's like, "What do you want us to do now?" And Stacy tells Claudia, "I want you to meet with him." She was like, "But this time, I wouldn't be that upset if Tommy doesn't come back from that meeting." Basically alluding that she wants Claudia to kill Tommy.
To kill him. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So she basically asks her, like, "How do you want me to do this?" She was like, "I want you to lure him out, and I want you to kill him in his house. I want you to go to his house and catch him off guard and kill him there." And she was like, "Well, how do you want me to get away from the security?" She was like, "Just tell him you have to use the bathroom, and there's a door to the right." So then we see her. She tells the security she has to go to the bathroom. She actually asks Stacy, "He's like, what the hell did Tommy do to you?" And Stacy basically repeats the same thing that Claudia said to her when she asked him, when she asked why would Tommy want to kill her so bad. She was like, "I took something from him that he can never get back." Mm-hmm. When Claudia asked Stacy, "What did Tommy do to you?" He took something from me that I can never get back. And you could say it's her dignity, her pride, however you want to say.
Mm-hmm. But he got it though. He won it.
He did. He definitely did. So we see Claudia. She says she sends Lisa a message first after telling security she has to use the bathroom. She says, "Meeting with the devil is set. He has no idea what's coming. Get Chopper ready. And if not there." So she basically sends her off. If she's not there, then just go. So at least she's prepared for the alternate plan of what would really happen. And then basically she tells Tommy that she's going to meet with him, and we'll get into that final showdown. Then how they set up the final showdown is with a series of scenes that basically are very important to these two characters. Because first we see Maria. We see her at the hospital. She gets very emotional when she finds out that a young child had found a gun in the house and shot himself and killed himself dead. She sees the mother like very emotional and having a breakdown, and Maria starts getting emotional. It's not until her coworker says that, "Oh, are you having that time of the month? You having your period?" And she's thinking, she's like, "Shit, I haven't had my period in a while." So she goes to the bathroom. She takes her pregnancy test, and she finds out that we're having a little Tommy Egan. It is true. All the hints that we saw all season, we talked about it more last week, and now it's true. Maria and Tommy are pregnant.
This Tommy's third kid.
His third kid? Are you counting his stepson with Keisha?
Keisha. I thought Keisha was pregnant.
No, Keisha wasn't pregnant.
No? Okay. Well,
Holly was pregnant. This is his second child.
Second child then. Okay, fine. Second kid. He had a stepson. Yeah. Okay, fine. I don't think, especially when she found out and she saw it, she was like, oh, she was really, really happy. And it was like, that thing was bloodshot red. And I was like, oh yeah, that you, as soon as you peed on it, it turned. You are in there. The tests don't lie. Anyway, it's just, I'm sad because I don't think she's going to make it. We said it last week, but now this is really telling, like, this is like, unless she just go away somewhere and meet somewhere and don't come back and don't tell him nothing, I don't see her making it.
So we can't get a Tommy baby? You
I
don't think
want-
the baby's gonna survive? I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say the baby will survive, because I think that's the only way you can continue Tommy's story and make it different from what we saw in Power, what we saw in Force. Is you basically give him a child at the end of this series, and that sets up logically what the whole Power legacy is all about. It's about Tommy finishing off the game, passing the torch to Tariq, and him going off on his own with his family. I would like that to be the story.
I would love that to be the story, but I don't think that the writers of that.
Because I mean, you are the one that is more on tune and in tune with Power, because Power does not like children, does not like pregnant women at all.
They don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, especially for this particular character, it's happened twice. I mean, this will be this. I mean, he every person that he falls in love with, something happens to them. And you know, the first one was
his doing.
Well, yeah.
Or her doing, whoever you want to blame, yeah.
More her than him, but Holly was one of, out of all of the, she was one of the people that had to go. Keisha, we probably could have like kind of dealt with a little bit or whatever, kind of roughed her up.
She was about
probably.
to snitch, to be fair.
That is true. She had to go too. That's why they had to take care. They had to take care of her. He didn't understand it, but yeah, thank you. Yeah, he didn't get it. He's still mad he's still low key mad at that part. But he found Maria. So let's see what happens. But I would love for Tommy to have a little Tommy. I would love that. That'd be great.
I want to see a whole big family reunion. Tommy and his dad and Maria meet with Tariq, Tasha, and Yaz. They can have Sunday dinner again. And D-Mac is there.
It's true. That'd be a fantasy of all fantasies. Maybe Kate might come once in a while.
Yeah. Okay, Kate. Even though Tariq pulled the gun out on her the last time he saw her.
Yep. But it's okay.
So Maria's excited. She says, "Excited to see you tonight. I have big news." As she texts Tommy, and I was like, "Damn, that's what would happen if Tommy was about to get hurt or something, or almost die."
Yep.
And then we get Vic Flynn. He meets with two of his underbosses, a part of his Irish organization. And they are pissed off about the Albanians taking over the Irish restaurants, and they want to basically take back Chicago and take back what's theirs. And they basically want to do a hostile takeover on Tommy. So these guys actually do more convincing than Claudia was able to do, where they talk about that they have guys from Ireland, they got guys from all over New York that are basically his dad's infrastructure, and he says that they're loyal to him. So if he wants to take back Chicago, he can. He has the men. Mm-hmm. And Vic is like, well, fuck this. He was like, let's hit him where it hurts. So Vic is down with this plan. This leads to him basically calling Claudia and basically telling her that she was right. Is like, I'm gonna take back the Flynn name. I'm gonna take back Chicago, restore the Flynn name. And he was like, if you want help with what you were asking me for earlier, I'm down. He was like, I'm down with it. So I was like, oh, we're about to see. He was like, oh, he actually is trying to reconcile with his sister. Oh, too little, too late.
Yep.
Because the very next scene we see is Claudia breaking into Tommy's apartment and looking like fucking Kim Possible.
You know what? I can't unsee it now. Damn it! I was like, why you got your hair all slicked back? You could put a hat on. Yeah, but I mean, she had the ill slick back. I was like, what are you like? The jacket, but she definitely did look like Kim Possible. Damn it, SP, I cannot unsee it now.
Looking like Kim Possible, Laura Croft, whoever you want
Look,
to say. Right before that scene, we see Tommy. He visits Elise, and he basically asks her, "Where's Claudia? What's Claudia gonna do? What's her plan?" And Elise is very adamant that Claudia would never betray her until Tommy brings up the fact that her last girlfriend also got killed by Claudia. That
yep.
she went against, that she was the hookup for Dahlia, and that when she went against something that Claudia wanted, Claudia took her out, stabbed her in the back of the head with an ice pick. And she was like, Claudia's never killed anybody. He's like, she's killed quite a few people. It was like, if you think that you can trust her and that she would never do anything to you, then okay, you could keep the secret. But if you think that she's gonna turn her back on you, here's $1 million. You can keep whatever in that bag from the drugs that you sold tonight, and just tell me what's her plan, and I'll let you go as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what we'll find out is that Elise is smarter than she looked. She chose the option B, and that was the smartest decision of her damn life.
She probably was like, I could have been on this damn plane like weeks ago, but trying to wait for this girl.
Because when Kim Possible shows up at Tommy Egan's loft, he is ready for her. She comes in the dark. She's got her flashlight and her gun, and she sees Tommy just sitting there waiting
for her
with his gun out pointed at her, and he tells her, "Put the gun down." Claudia's like, "How did you know I was coming?" And he was like, "Elise told me." He was like, "Your girl Elise told me." He's like, "Bullshit." He was like, "No, it's true." She was like, "I gave her, the way out. She wasn't tough enough for this life." He was like, "Neither are you. So put the gun down." And she's like, "All right, I'll put the gun over here." But instead, she flashes the flashlight in his face. She starts shooting at him. We got a big shootout. We got Claudia hiding behind the in the kitchen. We got Tommy hiding behind a couch. And they're basically in a whole big monologue against one another, where Tommy was like, "I didn't think you had it in you, Claudia." She's like, "The story of my life. Everybody underestimates me." And she starts shooting at him, and he starts shooting at you. He's like, "You should have never killed Liliana." And she finally admits it. She's like, "I killed Liliana." And she comes out with the gun, shooting at the couch, trying to shoot Tommy. Tommy's hiding behind the couch. She was like, "Tommy, are you still with us?" And stupidly, she freaking she unloads her entire clip. And we've said it once, we said it again. Tommy always tells this to people. Don't know how much is in your clip. Because he knows just by the sound. He knew instantly when she unloaded her clip. So he just comes out calmly, boom, shoots her right in the stomach. He then reloads his clip, has enough time to then shoot her in the shoulder. Then he shoots her in the neck, just clipping her. So she's bleeding out and she's holding on to her neck. She slides down right in front of the kitchen counter, and he pulls up on her. And he was like, "You know what, Claudia?" He's like, "I gotta hand it to you." He was like, "I got way more respect for you than your scum-ass brother, your scumbag brother, and your fucking father." He was like, "You got a lot of heart." He was like, you were supposed to be a part of this game, but you killed my friend, so I have to do this. Goodbye." Shoots her right in the head. Mm-hmm. I was like, this was such a great scene. Oh my God. This is so great because Claudia got what she finally wanted. She always wanted respect from someone in the game. And she got respect from one of the OG greatest gangsters of all time. This was the perfect ending for Claudia. And we get the nice little moment with Tommy sharing it with Liliana. He has a drink in hand and he is like, "She's yours now, Liliana." He finally redeemed her. What did you think about this scene here?
I thought this was, as a watcher, you kind of thought like, what are the ways we're going to watch this character die? And I think they did this particular scene perfect. No one's around, no one there to like get in between them two. It was just them two having a good old fashioned face off. Try talking it out. No, we're gonna have a shootout, and then, like you said, he probably was counting her bullets as she's shooting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Okay, you only got a few left. And then you're so cocky and you're so like clouded that you're not thinking that you've done unloaded your whole clip and didn't even reload in time because then he got you. So, but it was really good. It was a great scene.
Right. I just love his monologue at the end too. Finally giving her the respect that she always wanted. That was just, I was like, you know what? At the end, I was like, you know what? The actress and the character, great job.
Yes,
great job.
Yes,
great character,
absolutely.
great ending for the character. I did not like her at the beginning. I was like, I didn't really like any of the Flynns, honestly. I didn't think they were a good addition. Like, whereas I thought Diamond and Jenard were good additions to the Power universe. Never liked the Flynns, but there was something about Claudia which made her different from Vic and Walter. And you know, the whole relationship with Tommy in the first season, but then her killing Liliana just made me just be like, no, fuck this bitch. This bitch needs to die. This bitch can't do nothing right. She want to be a part of the drug game, but she don't even know the first thing about the drug game. I didn't want her no happiness. Didn't want her girlfriend to live. Didn't want her to live. And then she got stabbed at the end of season 2. Came back in this season. Had that whole arc in jail, which made me get a lot of respect for her because they finally did a jail arc where someone basically learned how to fight and learned how to scheme and get around things and have to go through adversity. And then she comes out of prison and has this episode here where she was great as well again. So Claudia probably is the best villain of Force, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I agree. For sure. Definitely the villain of this series.
Power Driver Finisher says Ghost also had his own little getup for committing crimes with the expensive gloves, jacket, and all. Yes, this is true. There was the Ghost. I'm about to murder somebody apparel.
Yep, he had a hoodie on. Yep.
Hoodie. He has the bubble. He had the bubble jacket one time. The bubble short sleeve jacket. We then get Tommy, who calls up Diamond first to ask if he can help him with the body. He doesn't pick up. So he instead calls Shanti, which was very interesting. I thought he was calling D-Mac at first. And then I see him with Shanti. I was like, okay. That was your second call. Okay. So yeah, he meets up with Shanti. They have a whole conversation about getting rid of the Flynn bitch. And he was like, you know, you're making a statement. He was like, I know. And then she was like, you know, CBI is taking over. It's doing a lot. She was like, first Diamond and Jenard, they take out the Yardies. He was like, what you mean they took out the Yardies? He was like, you know, the Yardies hit the CBI earlier. He's like, yeah, I know about that. He was like, but yeah, Diamond and Jenard hit back. They took out the whole gang, the whole Yardies. So they're taking over the Yardies game. And then they met up with Shay to tell him that they got the extra territory. He was like, she was like, yeah, he's like, that's interesting. He's like, yeah, those brothers are looking out for themselves. And as she walks away, we see the camera shows she smirks. I was like, this bitch here is always scheming. Scheming. I love it. I gotta respect.
Just planting the seed. I don't need no water. It's gonna water itself. I promise you.
Every time. We go back to Tommy's loft where Maria shows up. She's very excited to tell Tommy the news. She even has a little basically baby onesie to show him based off of their dream trip to Barcelona. And she's looking at it, but then she notices that the apartment is all shot up. And I gotta give it up to your great husband, Mr. Love, who was like, why he didn't clean up afterwards? Like, he took the body and then just left the blood.
You called for help. I was like, did Shanti leave that there on purpose? Like, didn't you call for help? Or so I'm like, I'm so confused on like how you do a half-ass job of cleaning up the crime scene. Well, who does that?
Who does that? Oh, I thought I was gonna get home before you. What, nigga? You shouldn't have assumed. You shouldn't have assumed you were going to get home before her. You assumed by not cleaning up one bit. Big pile of blood on the floor. Thank you to the pregnant woman who has to show up and see that bullshit.
I didn't even buy that whole like thing he said. I'm like, my guy, like, what do you mean he was waiting for me to get home? Like, you know what time I get home from work? Like, are you kidding me? Just nigga, you forgot, or you were just like too busy doing something else.
It's like, damn, Tommy, damn, fucking up here.
Yep.
So we did see Elise. She goes to the chopper. She goes in the chopper and she says the other passenger will not be with us. So they pull off. Elise escapes, and then we see Tommy. He shows back up at the apartment. He's like, oh, you don't have to clean up. I was gonna clean up. I didn't know you were gonna get home so quick. It's like, nah, man, nah. You should have done better. Should have done better. And she was like, she's worried. She's like, thank God you're alive. Like, fuck. She was like, I was worried.
Word, you don't leave that to someone to come home like, oh my God, like they're gonna think like the worst thing has happened, and she over there trying to clean the crime scene of probably your blood.
Exactly. If you weren't sure whose blood it was, why'd you clean it up? But yeah, basically, he wants to hear what's her news, and Maria lies to him, said that she's in the top 3 for the job that she wanted, for the promotion that she wanted, because she's still very unsure about having this baby with the lifestyle that Tommy lives. So they hug, but she looks over at the onesie because Tommy didn't see it. So that is how we end this episode, episode 5 of season 3 of Power Book 4 Force. We got Power Driver Finisher who says, laugh my ass off. This chick just figured out she's pregnant and immediately buys a baby onesie. Be surprised. You'll be surprised. That's probably the way she wanted to tell him. Is with the baby onesie.
She went,
like,
and
I have some news for you.
And remember, I think it said like Barcelona. Remember, they wanted to go to Spain.
Yeah.
That's the whole like they was gonna leave and go to Spain. And that's why she bought the onesie. So maybe the ending will be that you will have the baby and it'll go off to Barcelona after he meets with Tariq.
Maybe. That's a theory. That's a theory. Maybe. I wouldn't mind seeing that. We got some laughter in the chat as well. Let us know, what was your who was your MVP, your LVP, your moment of episode 5? Did you give the episode a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle? And out of 10, what did you give episode 5 of season 3 of Power Book 4 Force? For me and Miss Krssi Love, for Power Book 4 Force season 3, episode 5, The Last Dance, in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from both of us. Krssi Love, out of 10, what did you give this episode?
Let's get a 9 out of 10.
Easy 9 out of 10 episode. This is one of the best episodes that Force has ever had. You know what? I'm going to go extra mile. 9.5 out of 10. Wow. This is a near perfect episode. Near perfection in this episode.
I agree.
Who was your MVP for this episode?
I probably have to say Tommy.
Yeah, it's definitely Tommy. It's definitely Tommy. He's got some good news waiting for him. He's pregnant with Maria. He accomplished his goal. He finally got revenge for Liliana and killed Claudia. The CBI has more territory, even though it came courtesy of Diamond kind of going behind his back. But still, it's still money in his pocket. So this is a good episode for Tommy after the last recent episodes where it just seems like more obstacles and more enemies he's got in each episode. This was an episode where he took care of one of his enemies.
Yes.
LVP for the episode, Krssi.
Ooh, Stacy.
Yeah. Even more than Claudia. Claudia got killed, but she is not a bigger loser than Stacy Marks. Because Stacy Marks will pay for the fact that Claudia got killed. So it's like she not only has her own L's, she inherited Claudia's L.
Sad to say, but true. Yep.
Moment of the episode, Krssi.
Wow, there were so many. Um, I'll give it to CBI killing the Yardies.
I'm gonna give it to Tommy killing Claudia.
That's
In the
also
the speech beforehand.
oh the speech. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I'll give a co for him killing her. It's more so the speech than the
It's more
killing.
the speech than
Yeah.
actually killing her. It's the whole scene, the whole gunfight into the monologue, into him finally killing her. That's the scene of the episode. So that's my moment of the episode. All right, we've made it to the end of this week's episode. I have to tell Krssi and I have to tell all of you we won't be here next Monday because next Monday I am going back to the UK. So we'll take off next week. So we'll do 2 episodes the following week.
Okay.
We'll try to do 2 episodes then, and maybe either next week or sometime during the week we will do Bel Air because Bel Air is finishing off this week. So either
Okay.
next week or before the end of the year, we'll do a Bel Air review for season 3 as well. I mean season 4, the final season. We'll do that as well.
Okay.
So we got that to look forward to on True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment. We also are dropping me and Chris G's top 10 current NBA players list that we did on the last edition of True Hill Heat Check. That's going to be dropping on the channel this week as well. So you got to look forward to that. And for Stranger Things, I'm going to do a review of Volume 1 and Volume 2 because I'm waiting to watch Volume 1 when I'm back in the UK with my missus, because that's the show that we watch together. So I'll do a review of Volume 1 and Volume 2. We're going to do a preview of Volume 3, because Volume 3 is the series finale, which is a fucking movie. It's literally a fucking movie. They are literally airing it at IMAX.
Wow.
Yes.
So the next,
so
this is part of this season, correct or no?
Yeah. Season 5. Season 5. Yeah, the finale is 2 hours.
Wow. And they're letting you go to the movies to go watch it.
Yeah. So you can watch it from home or you can watch it there. So I'm gonna watch Volume 1 when I'm back in the UK, and then I'll watch Volume 2. So after Christmas, we'll be doing a review for Stranger Things Volume 1 and Volume 2. We'll do a preview before that same week. We'll do a preview for Volume 3 because it drops on New Year's Day. And then, of course, after the new year, we'll do a Stranger Things Volume 3 review. So you'll get 3 videos for Season 5. So just so you know. But, Krssi Love, let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when they will see you again.
Okay, guys. Hey, you can follow me, Krssi Love _1, True Hill Krssi Love, and then this is my plain old name. Catch us back here on this channel where we review all of our favorite or maybe your shows that you tell us what to review. And other than that, you'll see me on True Hill Heat in a week.
Not this week, but in a week. But yes, join us for that. Join us tomorrow on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, for Rated Raw review, reviewing tonight's Monday Night Raw. We got a WWE Saturday Night's Main Event preview on Friday. We got some True Hill Heat cuts and True Hill Heat hot takes dropping on Wednesday, AE Ramble on Thursday, and of course the flagship, me and Josh will be there. Plus, we might have a special guest as well. So join us for all of that over on the main channel. Over on this channel, we got True Picks coming up this week. So be on the lookout for that with Chase and Stat King. And we'll have True Hill Heat Checks top 10 best NBA players list as well. But for Miss Krssi Love, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been our Power Book 4 Force Season 3, Episode 5, The Last Dance Review. We are signing off until next time.
Later.